So thank you so much once again for joining me today. And if you could introduce yourself, what you do, where you are, and what's your life's mission, let's get started from there.
Namaste and thank you, Krishna. And Krishna interacting with Sudarshan sounds like a good combination. And I'm Sudarsan Tamang, and I'm a PhD in chemistry. And I come from a small place in Darjeeling, which is far away from cities and all the gadgets and sometimes even the internet connection is poor. It's a very simple place, but I did my PhD from France. So how did I go from small place to France is another story for another day. But today I'm happy to be with you.
I think you're quite humble in saying that you're just a PhD in in chemistry and you're a chemist, but you're also a lot more than you're a songwriter for the band, the famous band Mantra that I know for sure. I've seen some videos on YouTube. You also run long distance marathons and ultra, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken, in the hills as well. You also model. You play songs. I mean, you play the guitar. You're a wonderful father as well, and then you have something called life project. So if you could take us through some of the things that you are currently involved in outside of work as well.
Actually, since childhood, I don't know, maybe my philosophy is maybe different, or maybe there are some handful of people like me, I don't know. But since childhood, I was always fascinated with this concept of life. I always believe that out of 9 planets, or maybe 8 planets, if you don't count Pluto, I mean, this is the unique planet, and out of all the creatures we have, the human beings are very, very unique. And I'm blessed. I always felt that I'm lucky, and everybody's lucky, no matter what financial conditions they're hurled into when they are born. Nobody, a flower doesn't choose its color, so that doesn't matter. But it's a beautiful life, and I always wanted to explore many facets of life. So since childhood, maybe I was doing many things. I played cricket, I played football, I did photography, I wrote songs, I studied, I fell in love, I run. Anything that is humanly possible, I would like to I like to do and relish. I feel that this is a platter, a gift. It's a gift, and I should test every food and everything. And that's really wonderful, and I love it. So I'm currently, not currently, but since my school days, I've 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 been a writer. I wrote more than 60 songs for various bands in Nepali, and especially for Mantra, I wrote 3 albums. And Mantra is some people say it's the biggest export besides tea from Darjeeling to the world, because they have traveled. I've seen their passport. They have traveled more than 30 countries just for a show. So that speaks volume. I started running, and because I thought like I should also take care of my health. Life is precious, so I started running. But when I started running, I started to take it seriously, and I competed in many marathons in the country, and I was the first runner-up in Kolkata full marathon. I feel that was really uh, satisfying experience. I did photography when back in 2019. If you just Google, I used to run a Flickr account remotely. And back then, when digital cameras were just introduced, um, my, at least I think 17 or 20 photographs of my photographs in Flickr had been listed as 500 most interesting photographs in for that day in Flickr website. But it's all to enjoy one life, and a precious life, a gift from my mother, or maybe if somebody is religious, God, and anything. I am trying to celebrate life.
Yes, I mean, so many things to learn from it. To begin with, the perspective itself, out of, it's a very wonderful perspective, and that you're not just in your mind, you're taking actions, and then, you're doing what you love to do, literally using every minute of your, day. I mean, what a wonderful way of living, not just believing. Oh, I think that is really impressive. And like I said, I've been
Thank you.
following you. And if you could let me know a little bit of, the project life that you started of late, how far back, what, made you start that, the project, what's the vision and mission, and how do you approach, how does that tie with your perspective in life?
Actually, project life is, it all started in the lockdown when there was pandemic in India. Everybody was locked down inside. Everybody had gained weight, and there was health, not just the financial crisis, but also health crisis. Also, not only due to the coronavirus, but also due to lack of exercise, because everybody was locked down. So when lockdown was a little bit relaxed, I started to resume my activities. But I found some of my dearest friends, they were struggling with the health, and they were already overweight, but lockdown had taken more toll on their health. So I thought, like, why not I make them walk and run. And at least one friend of mine, I could make him run 30 kilometer. So I thought, like, it works. Come on, if it works for one person, of course, it all the time it works for me. I gain weight. My family members all the time says, "Oh, you gain weight. It's like radio volume. You go up and come. You have complete control over your life." But then I realized that I can also influence other people. At least one is a good example. Then I shared this experience with other people, and then the group increased in number and activities, and we have now more than 100 people. They had never ever ran in their life, but they lost. Not just, see, losing weight is just a side effect of running, but there are mental and psychological and physical and so many positive aspects which I don't think any other entertainment media or entertainment industry can provide that.
Yeah, that's a really perfect segue into the next question. Since you mentioned psychology, and I focus on positive habits, habit formation, behavior change. And today I wanted to ask you what are some of the good habits or positive habits that you've had, which, or some of the routines, that things that you do daily that, helped you in doing and achieving all that you're doing. Could you mention one or two or a few that has really helped you? Some habits, some routines?
Yeah, number one, first, I think it's not just applicable for me. I feel I study sometimes other people also, successful people. I think waking up early. I think that's main thing. And out of 60 songs I wrote for Mantra, would you believe that most of the songs I wrote in the morning when everybody was asleep? And because when you save activities for the evening, your mind is corrupted. I feel that sometimes I'm my mind is completely sleepy and drowsy, and corrupted with so many incidences that has happened in over a day. So morning, it's almost like you have rebooted your computer, and it works like faster. So waking up early, I feel my biggest strength, which happened. I don't know, it's because I inherited it from my parents, because my parents till this day, they wake up at 4 a.m. 4 a.m.
Wow.
And number one is waking up early.
When do you
And
wake up?
uh, you cannot believe, three today 2:30 I was awake, and I sleep early. Okay, when you wake up early, it's like conservation of, I don't know, system, right? You
Yeah.
somewhere you have to compromise. You sleep early and you wake up early.
So when do
So
you sleep?
wake up.
When do you go to sleep? Sorry.
Sometimes if I don't have anything, I go to sleep at 6:30. Also sometimes if I'm allowed, I don't mind. I love to go to sleep early. I'm not the night person. I'm a human being, I think.
Yeah.
Not all. I don't
So,
know.
on a normal evening, when do you go to sleep? On a normal evening.
by 10 o'clock I sleep, I think.
Okay. And on an average, you get up at what time in the morning? On an average.
Morning 3 to 4, 3 to
Oh,
4.
oh, that's amazing. That's really wonderful.
Yeah, but I read most of the time in the morning. I read about stuffs that I don't understand. Recently I was studying about the stock market, and few days ago I was studying how people can understand play blindfold chess. That was like, for me it was curiosity. So I was trying to understand how what is the procedure, what is the science behind blindfold chess. So these random topics I try to study, and also in the morning internet is faster, so that is good.
Right. Thank you for that. I mean, really wonderful to know that you can actually sleep early and execute your plans as well. And the number two, the second habit that has really helped you, you are about to begin that.
Okay, the second habit is I think my life has changed since after I started to read, because um, as a human being we feel that we know everything, even if person has not gone to school or anything. Or sometimes I have an argument with my dad, and he says, like, in Nepali they call मैले तैले भन्दा ज्यादा भोटो फटाको means I have my more clothes I have used than you. So, and they measure experience based on how many clothes and how many shoes were tattered in their lifetime. So I argue with him that, okay, I have physically torn more books than you. Sometimes I counter argue. So reading book is a good habit, but I think I always be careful not to read even accidentally books which leads me to some dark territories. Like, there are some books which only talking about conspiracy theory and all kinds of things. Those things are, maybe they are also, people doing those kind of things are also very interesting, and I don't, but for me, my purpose and philosophy is not in sync with those kind of books. So I always handpick the book I want to read. It's mostly related to positivity, and like, you can do it kind of books and things like that. So
Yeah.
book is number 2.
Yeah, and do you have any more that has really helped you? Because I'm quite curious. I mean, you get a lot of things done within I should not say a lifetime, but within the years and months you have. It's really inspirational for a person to get a lot of things done. Not just think about it. I should do it one day. Let me see. This is my goals and dreams. But you have done it already. So is it because you have blocked time in the morning and then you become creative, like you said, songwriting? So how do you juggle songwriting, reading, working out? Because you have only one morning in the day. So how do you?
I think it's focus. I think it's focus. I see. I'm now 40, and I also review my functioning ways, because when I was kid, I don't know why things worked and why things didn't work. But as a 40-year, like, I try to review my own success and failures and other people's success and failures. Although many people, I'm sure there are so many people wake up early and put the same amount of effort, maybe more than I do. But I think the focus is the key. I feel that. So my mom tells me that when I'm focused in one thing, in fact, my loved ones also said that, now you're focused on chess, I think you'll forget me. I mean, such comments are very common to me, because when I'm focused and reading something, like, I don't people say that, don't don't let the lips talking, just let your action talking. But I think to be successful, not just you have to close your mouth, but also the ears and all the senses that distracts you. I
Yeah.
think because I don't hear anything. I don't hear if somebody's, there's a war going on, Russia is attacking. If right now I'm into something like nothing affects me. So I think that kind of focus is
Mhm.
really, really key. So I feel that there are so many talented people. I don't consider myself as a very, very talented, gifted writer, but my focus and my that's, I don't know, sense of judgment is what can be defined as X factor, maybe, because nobody has defined X factor, but I'm attempting to define the X factor. The X factor is, I think, the kind of focus, kind of the judgment, because everybody draws, but how do you judge that this amount of color is enough? That is your character. And I think that's my strength, and that comes, I don't know, it comes from practice or not, but I feel that everybody is special. So maybe they need to dig inside and find out what is their strength, maybe.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. You know, I work on a similar thing. I get obsessed about one thing and I learn a lot from it. I may get bored and move on in different parts. So
Mm.
I completely understand. I get into the flow state and, I'm completely oblivious even to my own existence of my body. I mean, so hyper focused on
Exactly,
that.
exactly.
And you are the thing that you're reading. There is no separation in what you're, looking at, and it becomes the same thing, phenomenon, and it's wonderful. So how do you think you can, because I'm also distracted at times, at many times I should say, and I find it difficult to focus. I mean, I practice it so I can come back to it. But how do you, with all the technology and screens around us and the people, what's a message that you can tell people to get more focused nowadays in the last 10 years put together? Like, I know you are a scientist and also you teach at Sikkim University. So how do you say, how to cultivate the habit of getting focused?
I think focus is, see, it's all mind. Okay, I think we have to understand our mind. I feel that. So I really don't know how I focus on every single thing, but I can give one example.
Yeah.
Like if I'm right now, last 2 years I've been focusing on running, right? Running marathons. So what I do is, everything that I do has to do something or other with that thing, like even when I talk about that, because and when I write something, I write about that marathon, and I tell my mind, just like marathon is the world kind of thing. Maybe subconsciously I tell my mind, but I think that's the way, because I exactly don't know how to tell people how to focus. But this is true, I think, because I read somewhere in some books that when you want to achieve something, write everywhere, so that even in the, I mean, when you go to sleep, in front of you on the wall you see, like, okay, marathon, a marathon, like t-shirt also marathon, like Manchester United fans wearing like t-shirt, they, nobody can argue with them that their team is bad, because they have written so many places. They have told their mind that this is Manchester United is your club, in so many varieties of subconscious forms.
Right.
So they cannot, nobody can beat them. So I think it's important to tell our minds, like, feed that this is important, this is important. So what I do is, whenever I watch YouTube, I just go to, like, there are so many interesting topics, like marathon also is, running is hard, but like, how do they run fast? You type and there are so many good things. And then how do they train? How to go to sub 130 for 21 kilometer? Interesting things. And also with friends, you talk with people who are good runners and bad runners. You ask curiosity, like it's wonderful. I think that way you can be on your toes and you can be focused, I feel. I mean, I have not formally written down how to focus, because I will think about it from today's interaction. But what I roughly recollect, I think that's how I focus. Maybe that's the secret of my secret that makes me focus on things, I think.
Yeah, so I mean, it's very interesting. You have a theme and you get obsessed about it, whether you write, you play, you talk, and the whole thing is about that theme. So the way I kind of verbalize it, probably you have different chapters in life. So growing up, there was a chapter when you're having fun. Then was there a chapter about writing, songwriting? Then there was a photography chapter, and then there was, project life. Chemistry chapter. Is that how you evolved? I'm trying to get a sense of how you one thing at a time for a few years, and then you move on to another theme.
Yeah. When I feel that I've achieved like a normal person should achieve, like for example, even in marathons, maybe tomorrow if I don't run as seriously as today, but I'll run continuously because I have to take care of my health, because I feel that I feel the sense of achievement, because I cannot win Olympic at this age. 40 years. I started running at the age of 37. 3 years down the line, I was first runner in Kolkata marathon, and that tells me that okay, like I've understood this. Let's understand something else. So that's how I hop from one passion to another, but it's still those passions keep they are close to my heart. Like even photography, I see some people displaying photographs, and I love it. Okay, you can Google my photographs, Sudarsan Tamang, in Flickr. You can check for yourself what kind of genre or test I had in photography as well. So that
definitely. And I did remember you clocking in 129, was it, for the
122.
122.
122 is my PB, Kolkata. Yeah, 21 kilometers.
That's fantastic.
And my Bangalore 10K time is 36 minutes for 10K. And I started running last 3 years, and it's all because of research. And to be honest, I don't have the like physics of a runner, because runner should be thin and very, very lightweight. My weight is 80 kgs, and 80 kgs with this height, I'm clocking 36, and I think I'm somewhere. I feel that is a define the physics is a little bit not defied, but maybe questioned. No, if I didn't question the physics, I questioned the belief system.
Yeah, I think you're defying a lot of physical norms and perspective. I think you're all about mindset, and I am a curious person, and I'm very curious about how you execute these things. What's going in your mind so that you're able to produce the results that you're producing, as we discussed many times before, and happy to get here. Also, we are not perfect, right? We also have other things, maybe distractions or some bad habits. Are there any bad habits or something that was not working out for you before, and how did you overcome, if you had one? If you could share some of those routines that did not work for you, or some bad habits you had in the past.
In a perfect world, there is no bad habit. Actually, you see that when you are with your mom or people you love, people who love you. I mean, every small mistakes. Of course, you don't kill people. That's another thing. Every habit is a good habit, but only in the world which is conditioned. You are supposed to do this and that. The habits are some habits are bad, and in this world, this world is not a perfect world. I feel that some of the habits which I was very comfortable with was not very fruitful and was harming me. One is I was very sensitive, and when I was small, I was so sensitive that if I saw some animals being killed, I stopped eating meat for 7-9 years. Okay, and then was very sensitive, so that sensitivity, too much sensitivity is also not good, because there are so many the world is full of agent provocators and and stimulants and so I think that can be very, very it can lead to anxiety. So nowadays I try to be not so sensitive. I try to see the same thing. If somebody tells me, okay, why are you eating meat, I try to tell them back one sentence answer. I'm just trying to follow the food chain pyramid. That's all. Okay. So I'm trying to overcome such thing. One is sensitivity. The other one was since I am from a very small place, I was very shy. I was shy, and I barely spoke in schools and colleges. I did not even, I don't remember performing songs in the colleges. Only when my songs became so hit that people started to know me. But when I went to Europe and other places for studies, I realized that communication is very important. Communication is very important. And when I say communication, I started to focus because uh, when I was kid, I was creative, but my communication skills were not like, it was just natural, but not it was not suited for this world. Now the world requires another layers of communications, which is like your postures, and not just your language,
Yeah.
but also, yeah, everything. And people say that more than the verbal, non-verbal communication is
Yes.
what is important.
Yes.
So I tried to improve both my English, because I studied in Nepali medium. My English was worse than Obama's French, maybe. So I worked on my English skills, and also my etiquettes, like how do I eat, how do I talk with people, how do I greet. So I think those were things which, there are always, things which you can improve. But in a perfect world, there is no bad habit. Okay, in a perfect world, but the world is not perfect, and you need to tune yourself a little bit uh, for this world. Otherwise it's very difficult to survive. Even tigers can deplete.
Right. Right. Just one last question, like, how do you have any message for people out there, people who are of your age, above your age, older than you are, youngsters, anyone who are struggling with some of the things that, I believe that everybody is a genius in their own way. They have their unique potential, they have their space and time. How do they, become, bloom into the full potential that they have? What are some of the messages in terms of developing habits, routines, and how they should look at life that you would want to share with the audience, please?
I think there are so many what you call wisdom in the internet. But one thing I would like to tell, that if you want to be successful on earth, I think everybody should remember that we have to socialize, and we should accept people, because most of the time we want to be successful, but at the same time we are claustrophobic. We run away from people who are, just try to go to the comfort zone, because world is crazy. There are people who criticize you. There are people who cheat you. But if you want to be successful, you have to live with them, and in fact, if possible, change them and inspire them, but don't leave them and just lock yourself in the room. You I feel that PR is more important than PhD. I feel because you can only be successful without connecting with people, and that place is Mars. Maybe. So I think that's the secret. I see there are so many educated people in West Bengal, but why Mamta Banerjee? Why Mamta Banerjee is CM of West Bengal? Because I think she connects with people. Out of so many wonderful people in Darjeeling, why Bimal Gurung? Why Bimal Gurung? I think maybe intellectuals do not like them, but maybe they connect with people better, right? I think one who is comfortable and very, very, genuine with the social sphere, I think he can go, or she can go a long way in life. People should remember that. I've heard this comment like, there were better players than Baichung Bhutia, but scope na paera Nepali ma, kisine support nai kiya. But I think he didn't understand how the system works. Maybe they were not so social, or so, they didn't have good skills with people, and how they talk, how they approach. So maybe their talents, could not take them so far. So maybe PR, I think PR and your social sphere, you have to be social, you have to accept people, you have to go live amongst them if you want to be successful. Otherwise, if you want to be just okay, you're happy with life, you run away from people, but people will chase you. Even if you lock yourself inside a room, they will knock and what are you doing? What are you doing? You cannot run away from people. So better develop the skill which helps you be amongst them in a friendly, positive manner, like accept them and tell them to accept yourself also. So I think that's the message I want to give. I don't have any other better message because there are so many messages.
Yeah, that's really wonderful, because I can go on and on. I'm like, really getting this positive energy, and, we can talk on for hours. But then one last question is, where can people find you, about your work, about your songs, about Project Life, and then what you're all about? Are there any place on, physical address, virtual address that you want to share with the audience?
Actually, one thing that I didn't do in my life was documenting. I have not documented anything, because when I wrote songs, I don't I wrote just like that. I did this one. So now I'm trying to document everything because there is a time for everything. Now I'm 40. I'm trying to write a book about all the songs that I wrote, and also the Project Life. Right now, you can find me on Facebook, and maybe if you Google some random pages, but physically there is no, like, even Project Life is not registered. It's just a random group of people, and it's so many members, but I have not registered it. And so that's something which I think I will slightly document and tell them the office and where I live and what I do. But right now I'm like a freelancer, 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 and doing many things and enjoying life. And also not just enjoying, but I always include people, as I said in my message also. You ask my friends, um, last 10 years, if possible, I have never drank even a single cup of tea if I'm around people alone. I see anyone that I know, I take them, because that's the message. That's what I do, and my friends know anything. I'm everything. Even I'm a social tea drinker, not just food, everything. So I think that's wonderful to be with people and understand their uh, how they live, and they actually they inspire me, and it's really wonderful.
Yeah, and I think I'm definitely inspired by you, and I'm sure a lot of people are, find this message inspirational. I'll put the links in below, and then hopefully more people will come and knock on your doors and try to find out more about you and get inspired. Thank you so much for your time. I know you have a class coming up. I really appreciate it. Once again, thank you so much, Sudarshan.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank
Hopefully
you,
see you
thank
soon.
you.
Take care.
Okay, bye.